we're about to do something we have not done in a while. Stay tuned to find out what it is. So if you haven't guessed it by now, today we're going to be going on eBay to check out some of the big books that have recently sold on the platform. Now, why am I doing this? It is because recently I've noticed we have a little bit of an uptick on some of these books, and I want price confirmation. But before we do that, guys, I want to say thank you to everyone out there who has recently subbed up to the channel. If you guys haven't noticed, we've just crossed 10,000 subs quite quickly, so I'm really happy about that. But I also want to say to you guys, if you have not done so yet, please hit that sub button, smash the like button, always helps the channel out. With that said, let's check out eBay and some of the big books that sold over the past couple of weeks. So we're going to start off with a banger. Here we have a copy of Tales of Suspense, number 39, the first appearance of Tony Stark and Iron Man. This copy in a CGC 2.0, and I will say this to you guys, a 2.0 to a 3.0 is really my preference to own this book. As you can see, it sold on September 16th for a whopping $5,000. Now, my recent memory is telling me that is a pretty good sale for this book. Let's check out GPA. As you can see, the last sale for this one, according to them, was also this month for a whopping $4,180, but we've only had one sale on a 2.0 recorded by them in the past 90 days. We're going to go check out the 12-month rolling average, and it was all the way up at $5,046 on two sales. So what does that tell me? That around $5,000 is where a 2.0 should be selling for right now in this market. So someone got a pretty decent deal on this one. Up next is another Silver Age key, one of my faves. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 1 in a CGC 1.0 with off-white pages. We all know what this book is. The second appearance of Spider-Man, the first in his own title, and the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson and the Chameleon. Now, this copy also sold on September 18th for a buy and now ask of $5,750, which seems right in line to me. I had a good buddy of mine just sell his 2.0 copy for only $5,000, so somebody got a pretty good deal on that book. But with that said, we're going to check out GPA, and as you can see, this sale has already been recorded just this month for $5,750. Again, 1.0 recorded by them in the past 90 days. The 12-month rolling average, though, guys, $5,630. In 2023, the average was $5,247. So definitely an uptick on this book, but don't forget, please, presentation matters when we're talking about all these big Silver Age keys. So let's talk about this book right here. When I saw what it sold for, I actually could not believe it. Here we have a copy of Fantastic Four, number 48, the first appearance of the Silver Surfer and cameo of Galactus in a CGC 4.0, but qualified. This book is actually missing a page, and I could not believe that someone was going to pay $850 just this past month. When I went to check on GPA, they did have a qualified sale just this month for only $675. The 90-day and 12-month rolling average for this book was way down at $638 on 2 copies sold. So with that said, I want to go out and check a 4.0 blue label to see what it sold for. And as you guys can see, we just had a sale this month for only $1,100, $250 more than this person just paid. It gets better. The 90-day average for this book in a 4.0 blue label was $925 on 11 sales. So with that said, you probably can get this book for around $1,000. And if you guys don't know right as it stands right now, there's roughly around 8,000 copies of this book that have been graded by CGC as it stands. I want to hear what you guys think out there in the comments. Would you have paid $850 for an incomplete Silver Age key with 8,000 copies on the census? I want to hear from you guys. All right, so how about we talk a little Bronze Age, and not just any Bronze Age, but a super high grade, a CGC 9.8 copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 121, The Death of Gwen Stacy. Now, this book sold on September 14th for a whopping $5,500. Now, as you check GPA, you guys can see just this month we had another sale of this book in a 9.8 for only $4,950. The 90-day average, though, $5,346 on 3 sales. Same for the 12-month rolling average. I want to go check out 2023 for this book because the average was $6,562. So again, I'd like to ask you guys this. Are you willing to spend $5,000 on a CGC 9.8 of a Bronze Age key, or would you rather take $5,000 and put it towards a bigger Silver Age book, or possibly even a Golden Age book? Again, another thing I'd really love to hear your opinions and comments down below. But for me, I guess for this book, it's a huge, amazing Spider-Man key. I love the cover, one of my favorites by John Romita Sr. So I can understand why someone would want to pay over $5,000 to get a copy of this one in a 9.8. But again, another book that has gone up a little bit in price over the past 90 days. So we have another Silver Age Grail. It is a copy of Journey into Mystery number 83 in a CGC 4.0, and of course is the first appearance of Thor. Now this book sold on September 17th for a whopping $6,900 on 10 bids at an auction. As we go ahead and check GPA, you guys can see that this book already has been recorded by them, $6,900. But within the past 90 days, we had 2 sales in a 4.0, averaging $6,600. The 12-month rolling average, however, $7,417. Again, another book that is up a couple of $100 over the past 90 days. And that is really the trend that I have been seeing, at least on eBay over the past couple of months, that books are starting to kind of rebound just a little bit. I don't know if it's a little bit of a dead cat bounce, maybe we'll fluctuate for a little bit, but I like to see some of these books selling for higher prices. Next up, let's talk about a pretty rare book. Here we have a copy of Cerebus the Aardvark number 1, the origin and first appearance of Cerebus. Now, if you guys don't know this book has some really significant fake copies floating out there, and believe it or not, CGC actually still grades these fake copies. That's how good they are. Regardless, this copy in a raw form was listed for $1,650, but actually ended up selling on September 15th for only $1,250, believe it or not. Now, don't forget, somebody took a really big chance going ahead and buying this book because they don't know if they're getting the real thing or they're getting the fake. With that said, let's check out GPA and see that the last sale that occurred on this book in a 6.0, because that's what I'm calling this book, it was very hard to determine the grade of this thing, but for price discussion, we're going to stick to a 6.0. The last sale was in July of 2024 for $1,781. The 90-day average the same. The 12-month rolling average, believe it or not, $2,780 on just 3 sales. But like I said before, guys, we don't know if this is the real thing, if this is a fake, so someone took a big chance. But for $1,250, $400 under the ask, is it worth the risk? I will say this, if you go ahead and look up the fake copies up on GPA, they still hold value, even though nowhere near what the original is going for. Up next, we have another Silver Age key. It is a copy of Avengers No. 1 in a CGC 5.0 with off-white pages, the first appearance of the Avengers. Now, this book sold on September 18th for $5,147.35 plus tax, plus it's coming from Canada. With that said, we're going to check out GPA and see that the last sale has been recorded, this copy right here, for $5,147. Again, only one copy in a 5.0 sold over the past 90 days, but check out the 12-month rolling average down at $4,828. So again, another $300 bump, and that's pretty consistent from what I've seen, a $200 to $300 increase in value over the past couple of months. Is it because people are starting to come back in the market? Is it because we're just getting a little bit of a dead cat bounce? I want to hear your thoughts down below, but either way, a beautiful Avengers No. 1. The colors really pop on this thing. How about we talk a little bit of Golden Age right now? Here we have a copy of Batman number 16. Now, if you guys don't know what this book is, this is the first appearance of Alfred. And last week on September 16th, we had a sale of $4,758 on 20 bids at auction. Now, it was really hard to see what this grade might be on this book, but again, it presents beautifully. But I always like to be conservative when I'm doing these videos, so we're going to start with the CGC 5.5. And as we go and check out GPA, you can see the last sale for a 5.5 was also this month for $3,840. The 90-day average, again, $3,840, we only had one sale. The 12-month rolling average, $4,105. Let's check out a 6.0 sale because I want to show you guys the disparity in price between a 5.5 and a 6.0. Believe it or not, we had a sale of a 6.0 back in April for $6,600. Now that to me is a huge disparity, almost $3,000 worth, just for a 0.5 difference in grade. There was no 90-day average, and the 12-month rolling average was $6,450. So I think someone paying $4,700 for right around that grade, either they got a really great deal or they massively overpaid. Either way, one of the few Batman keys that are still affordable from the Golden Age. Again, we're going to stick with Batman. Again, we're going to stick with the Golden Age. And again, we're going to stick with affordability. Here we have one of the best Batman covers of all time, Batman number 11, this classic Joker card cover. Now, this book sold on September 14th for only $3,499. And now, when I first saw the sale, I thought, man, that's a pretty good price for this book because I absolutely love this thing because I'm always seeing 3.0s and 4.0s going for crazy amounts of money. As we check GPA, though, the last sale for this book was also this month for only $3,000. The 90-day average, however, $2,810 on a whopping 4 sales and a 1.8, which I was shocked about. So as you guys can see, someone paid $500 plus, because they had to pay tax, of course, just to own this fantastic cover. Again, another book that is up a couple of $100s over the past many days. This one, I think somebody got a really great deal because I myself would still love to own this book in a low grade that presents really nice, which this book does. There are not a lot of Batman Golden Age keys to me that are really affordable that I want to own. This one is one of them, however. So the last book we're going to talk about today is a super high grade Silver Age key. Also a classic cover. It is a copy of Silver Surfer number 4 in a CGC 9.4 that sold on September 17th for a whopping $5,100, right at the asking price. Now we're going to check GPA and see if the last sale of this book has been recorded already just this month. The 90-day average, again, only 1 copy sold. It was this one, but the 12-month rolling average on this book up at $5,620. The 2023 average, $6,685. So here we have a book that, in my opinion, is still coming down in price, especially in super high grade, but it doesn't come up for sale all that often in super high grade. Only 3 sales over the past year. With that said, I'm going to raise this question again, you guys. Would you rather spend $5,000 on a super high grade copy of a Silver Age book that is really readily available? Would you rather take that $5,000 and put it towards a lower grade of a bigger key? I really want to hear what you guys think on this one because I do think it's really important. So that's it for this one. I took 10 big books that sold of the past week and a half or so, just to see what's going on in the market. I think Silver Age books, for the most part, can tell you a lot about where prices are going. And most of these books, they're selling for more than they were just about 3 months ago. And that to me is a good sign. Again, is it a dead cat bounce? Could possibly be. I took 1 high-grade silver key and 1 high-grade bronze key just to see what they sold for. Regardless, do I think now is a good time to buy comics? Yeah, but as I've been saying the whole time, guys, it has to be for the long term. I do not trust some of these bouncers that are going on right now. I don't think we're going to head much lower, to be honest, but I do think we're going to have a lot of fluctuation over the next 5 to 10 years. So with that said, if you want to own these books for the long term, yes, I'd be buying them right now, especially some of the bigger books. I did a video not too long ago about the books that I want to own in my collection, and a lot of these books could be found today on this eBay list. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.